Hi there. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be going through a couple of address books that I made it's number 2 in this series of this. On Facebook Marketplace, somebody was giving away 10 boxes of these. I ended up with almost 2,500 of these tab dividers. I have one that's 8 in a set and one that's 3 in a set. And I've been using them. I love DIY and storage and organization and stuff. So I'm challenging myself to see how all I use these. So today yesterday, I made an address book for my sister. And the way I designed this is it's not really an address book. It's more to keep track of Happy Mail and giveaways and winnings and challenges and gifts. She plays bingo on YouTube, so it could be bingo winnings. We're in some Facebook groups, so it could be for Happy Mail, just to record all of the craft goodness and fun, right? So that was my idea for this. Let me make sure I'm in frame. Yes. And the way I designed the cover is I get these cheap off Amazon Warehouse. And I know I talk a lot about Warehouse, and I'm going to do a pretty comprehensive video next. Because so far I've saved $2,000 on Amazon Warehouse. True story. And I will show that in the next video. But I bought these 10 of them real cheap. These are the green ones my sister gave me. And then the red ones I just bought. And how this cover is constructed, I just use this as the building block, and how this is constructed is like, I'll just show you here. Like, okay, I'm going through some scraps over here. I've seen other people do this. Maybe you all have too. This is just an example of what I did. Now, of course, they'd be the right size and everything. But what I did was, for each section, I used a piece of the file folder cut down to whatever size I need, like this size. And then you place them on, this is Cartabella Botanical Garden. It's pretty hefty paper. And then you just leave room for it, and then you just space it, just whatever you think, okay? And this is pretty thick paper, so I gave it a pretty good space, maybe not quite that much. And then that makes your hinge, is that space in between. Because whenever I wrap a cover totally, and then, like use file folder as the base or something, whenever I wrap it, it always buckles inside, So then I've seen this before, but I've never used it. But then what it does is it gives it room to bend. Theoretically, like a hinge. And then it doesn't buckle inside. So you can see that's bending pretty well. And it's this one corner, I can't tell if it's not glued down enough or it's not quite or maybe just because it's my first time, but you can see there, it's not quite buckle proof, but it very well could be how I made it. Okay. Sorry, let's get this all back together. I was showing you upside down because it's on the bottom. So that was a fail. So what I did was I gave it like a 1-inch spine. And then I gave it like a 1-inch spine, and then I did another flip through in the back. Okay, so the cover is Carta Bella Botanical Gardens. We just got this at the Echo Park warehouse sale. These binder clips that you see here, let me show you. I bought these on Amazon Warehouse too, and it's just a 2-part clip system. Usually used for file folders, but I got them thinking it might be some good fastening for journals, or that we could, you know, just use it mainly in my construction of things, not like a pretty junk journal. Okay, so love these, love them. It's a bit time consuming punching the holes, but I have used this also in one of these journals, in a journal I made for my sister for samples, to keep samples. I'm uncertain if I made a video on it, and I don't remember exactly how I did it, but I expanded it. I used one of these as the cover, and then I made sections, and then in each section, of course I trimmed it down to the right size and everything, but in each section I attached the signatures with one of these. So I do a lot of construction, so I thought it would be good more for construction purposes than a journal per se, because it's pretty smooth element, but it's a little crude looking. It's not pretty for a journal, you know. So for her sample journal, I used that in this expansion section on these file folders, and then it just looked like that, and then it just looked like that on the outside. See? Cool. And I think what I did was just brought paper up to this edge, just brought it right up to it, so I didn't have to cover all of the expansion. See what I'm saying? I'm also going to use one of these, probably this one. I'm going to make my son a Pokemon journal, and I'm going to construct it with this. Okay, now we're back to this. So like I said, I spaced it to give each section a nice bend, and it worked pretty well. It's not perfect. There's a bit of a lift. Like I said, I don't know if it needs more glue or if I just needed to work it better as I was making it. I'm uncertain. This is my first attempt using it, and I think it's pretty good. So, what we have when we open, looky here. I was really proud of this. I made an expandable pocket. Look how fun. Let me make sure I'm in frame. Yeah. So that was fun. And then I just did a Velcro closure. Okay. And then in the beginning section here, I just made folders that out of those tab dividers that she can keep cards in. Like just right now I got a thank you card from my last video, Melody Made, you know, I would keep that. And then on here, I gave her a couple of pieces of paper. One is a sheet of paper, and then the other is a Post-it, which I didn't know how she'd want to do it. You know, like this can go on here. A Post-it can be moved up, you know, telling about it. Okay? So then there's a few of those folders, and then I attached them with one of those. And then here's the address book section. And I printed, it looks like a scroll on these address tab pages. And I didn't do name, address, phone number, zip kind of stuff because I just left it blank for her to write it as she wants, because she might want to write their email address, their YouTube channel, their the Facebook group they're in, you know, their YouTube handle, their Facebook handle, you know, or their real name, you know, their channel or Facebook account or whatever isn't their name. So I left all of the tab A to Z sections blank, and then just for her to write whatever she wants, okay? And then in between each of the tabs, I put a couple of pieces of graph paper. Looks like this one I did 4, but usually I did 2. I guess I couldn't count that time, huh? And then I did those A to Z. And then she will have 4 extra tabs. Maybe she wants to devote one to me or herself. You know, maybe she's doing giveaways. Maybe she wants to do one for giveaway or goals, or, you know, or, you know, maybe she's going to make she made a Facebook group for local crafters to sell their things. So, so she's got a couple blank tabs. And then behind here is more paper. Okay? And then I had to make a lift because it was hard to get to this back section that I'll show you next. So I just used, I think I just used one of these cardboards. The middle filler pieces to the cardboard folders, I believe. Or a tab, maybe from this, because I used over a whole tablet of this graph paper. So maybe it was the backing board off of that. Okay? So I believe that's what I used here to give us a lift. Make sure we can see. Yeah. To give a lift to get to this back section, which is the trimmings off of all of this graph paper. I just made a tablet. Pretty thick one. And then for that section, it has a little thin board in between. Okay? And then I attached it with a clip at the top. Okay? And then it all lays out so you can really use it, you know. So this is the first thing, and my kids said, my son especially said so too. This, how am I going to say this? This is the first thing I've made that looks or this is the closest thing I've made to something that looks store-bought. It almost, in some places, doesn't look homemade. You know? So I'm pretty proud how it, came out. I'm really proud of it. The expandable pocket, I had a lot of fun with that. That was just fun. And I made another one, and it was a fail. Here's this one. So I'm going to give that one to Mindy. And I put thank you because, you know, because for Happy Mail and giveaways and, you know, everything and winnings and everything, we're thankful. Then also to thank her for what she does for me. And also, did I mention, yeah, these are all tabs that I won in that, or that I got from that freebie on Marketplace, okay? And then here is another one I made, but I made a mistake because it's cute. I like it. It's pretty cute. It's a little crudely constructed up here. I didn't use this separation for these sections like I did on the other cover. But the biggest problem with these, I have one of those clips, one of those file clips under here. I covered it all. But my biggest problem here is that they're too narrow. You can't really write on, you can't write on that. So that's my biggest problem with this one. It's just too narrow. So I'm going to keep this for myself because I'll wrestle with it and use it, you know. I already need to put that winnings in there. I just did, that was my last Happy Meal. But, so this was using all of the tabs. And it's cute. It's pretty. I like it. But it's a mistake because I didn't make it wide enough to use. Okay? Especially Mindy being left-handed. So there was no way I could give her this. Right? Oh, I'll keep that there so I don't lose it. No, right in here properly. So that one is mine. I'm just going to keep it for me. And like I said, this was I learned a lot. How to keep the paper edges neat and the same height. I mean, I think I figured that out. So I learned what to do and what not to do on that other one, okay? So thank you so much for watching. And I'll talk to you later. Love you, bye.